up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be playing with a new release from ColourPop by Ava Gutowski. You guys are probably thinking, wow, Kaki, I really didn't think that you'd be like super into a creator like Ava Gutowski. And we'll get into all of that because, spoiler alert, I am really a huge fan of hers, and so I was excited to get her collection. We got a handful of different things that are not foundation oriented, but I have no makeup on my face right now, so we're gonna go ahead and go in with foundation and whatnot, and we will just kind of like talk along. And if you guys like this, if you're new here and you're enjoying this, go ahead and subscribe while you're here. Hit the like button. Just let me know that you like this kind of video. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so no surprises here. I'm going to be going in real quick with the Luscious Cosmetics foundation. This is called the Camera Stick. A weird chunk in it. I don't know what's happening there. And I am really just continuing to love this. It does not clog my pores. It does not break me out. And I got to take my engagement photos this week. You guys might have seen one of them on my Instagram, but there are far more where that came from, and they turned out so great. And I was wearing this foundation because it photographs so well. I'm thinking that later in the week I will do a get ready with me or like a tutorial where I show you guys how I do a look like that, because there's just something to be said for doing makeup that photographs well, because photographing well is very different from looking really good in real life, because you often have to do a lot more and a few extra little tricks to make sure that you look great on camera that you wouldn't normally do on just like a regular makeup day. If you guys want me to do that, let me know. If you guys saw those pictures on my Instagram and you're interested, let me know and we can do that. This is just so quick. I love it. I don't even have to use concealer. About the collection here. So Ava Gutowski, who is probably one of the most like OG YouTubers, I've been watching her for a really long time. So oddly enough, one of the first big YouTubers that I was a fan of was Bethany Mota, even though she's like a lot younger than me. This is the Glossier Louder here, just to kind of set this real quick. And there's nothing wrong with watching a YouTuber that's younger than you, but she was like of a different generation than I was, and making content that didn't really necessarily appeal to me from like a, you know, practical application standpoint. Like, I didn't really care for her makeup tips. I had kind of already graduated past a lot of what she was doing, but at the same time I just really was inspired by how she managed to inspire others, I guess, and how she kind of managed to market herself. And I watched a lot of kind of spin-offs of the Bethany Mota format. She had just a way of putting videos together, and it was very replicable. It required a lot of work, but it was very replicable. And you see a lot of these YouTubers now, these like, you know, pretty successful YouTubers out there who really follow her format, just like that like video format of just kind of the really, you know, music-y intro and really bright colors, and it's just kind of like an escapist thing for like a teenager to be watching, basically. And I had to admit, you know, like that kind of thing just appealed to me in some kind of like mindless way. I'm using the camera powder from Luscious Cosmetics to just kind of finish this a little bit so that we can go in with some powder. And Ava Gutowski was always kind of peripheral to me. She was like one of those people who I felt like was a knockoff, and if I'm being completely honest, like a knockoff of the Bethany Mota thing. But then Bethany went and did Dancing with the Stars, and she just kind of dipped out of the spotlight for a while on YouTube, and since then her content just never really came back, and Ava just swooped in. I mean, she just became the darling of that kind of audience on YouTube, and she's really managed to like morph herself into like a grown-up on the YouTube like space, you know what I mean? She's managed to kind of grow up, and she got a lot of flack for it, but she's just really confident. She actually, I mean, no shade, but she, you know, didn't skip college the way that a lot of YouTubers do. She just kind of like went her own route. She really just didn't compromise on anything. She's never compromised, I feel like, on her like personal brand. Like, she really goes with her gut. And she's super fallible, and she's always talking on her channel about like, you know, how it looks this way when I'm in pictures or whatever, but like this is the reality of it, and I'm a real person. And she's managed to like scale to, you know, millions of subscribers and still be that kind of like real, very vulnerable kind of person, but also promoting a lot of like confidence. And so that's part of the reason that I was interested in kind of supporting her. I'm gonna go ahead and start with some of her makeup here, and then we will continue to talk about the other kind of grander philosophies that I have about this kind of thing. So the collection consists of a Mermaid Glow. This is actually her It's All Wild version. I think that there are two. There's like her I don't know, there's like a beachy one and then there's this one, and It's All Wild is actually her fashion line, and so I just liked the colors on this one more, so that's what I ordered. It was 35 bucks for this entire collection, and it included the blush and kind of glow highlight situation here. Eyeshadows, which, while beautiful, are certainly not exhaustive. This is not a full look, I need a highlight, you know. Ooh, satisfying. Awesome. It also came with two, what are they called? Ultra blotted lips in very similar colors, but very pretty colors. And the ultra blotted lip is a matte, but it's kind of a more nourishing matte, I think. So I will show these in action, we'll swatch those. And it also came with a lip topper, which is the ultra glossy lip. And these shades are Party Wave and Love Bite are the shades of the ultra blotted, and Just Surfed, I'm assuming she named that one, is this really pretty kind of iridescent, kind of rose gold color that's a lip topper. And then I have like a hair stuck in my face and it's driving me freaking crazy. And then this is called Rayezor, R-A-Y-E-Z-O-R, and this is a matte, what are they called? A lippy sticks, and I love this packaging. I just love this applicator. I don't know why. I think it's really pretty. This is also a really beautiful color. Very extremely similar to this one, but again, these are very kind of like tried and true sort of like dusty rose colors that are very applicable across skin tones, and that's great because she of course is like mixed race. She is black and also Puerto Rican, I believe, and so she's just got this like amazing like mocha colored skin that, you know, things look great on that wouldn't necessarily look great on me. So this does feel still like a collection that could go on a lot of skin tones, which I really appreciate. I feel like she kind of put some thought into that. So yeah, these are all the things that you get. You get 4 lips, you get the cheek, and then you get the 4 eyeshadows, and that was all for $35. And I believe you can get like a $5 off thing on ColourPop. But I think with new releases like this, it doesn't necessarily apply right away. I'm not sure. Either way, this is the first thing that I've ever bought from ColourPop, and they are a really well-priced brand, so the discount is kind of like notwithstanding, like who cares? And also, they're cruelty-free, they hit all the marks, so I really, really like ColourPop. I've been looking for kind of a reason to buy something from them, because it is kind of like, it feels like a little bit younger of a brand. Like, I didn't really get caught up in the wave of it, but I really, really like what they're doing, and so I was excited to kind of have a little bit more incentive to spend my money on it. So while I'm chattering here, let's go ahead and go in with this beautiful blush color. This shade is called Siren. And I'm not sure if this is, you know, just curated by her, or if this is something that, you know, she created these shades. I'm gonna go this nice rosy shade on the cheek. That's so pretty. Aw, that's so pretty. And it's kind of funny because Ava is not necessarily pigeonholed as one thing or another on YouTube. She's not a beauty guru. She doesn't come on and do a lot of makeup tutorials or anything like that. She just kind of does like funny, entertaining videos. She's acted in some YouTube Red series and things like that, and she's just really, I don't know, I think she's kind of a marketing genius. It's weird to look up to a 24-year-old, but she's just managed to take her brand in every direction. She does a really good job of not limiting herself, of not just making excuses that she's going to continue to pigeonhole herself. She's just like, I'm going to do it all. You know what I mean? If I'm awake, if I'm alive on Earth, I'm going to do everything that I want to do. And she's just really been unstoppable. And that's, I think, why I kind of admire her so much. And also, so much of the time when we see somebody who's really successful as kind of like underdog women, we feel like maybe someone else deserves our support more, you know? But I think that that's a little bit of jealousy talking. And I try not to let jealousy be something that kind of navigates who I support and who I don't support. I really think that she's an amazing human being, and that as women we're supposed to kind of support each other no matter what, and that like just because a woman is super successful doesn't mean that she's taking that success away from other women. You know what I mean? Supporting someone like her doesn't make me less likely to succeed. And I think that's kind of where we get caught up as humans, you know, and like the whole like, oh, well, her cake is better than mine, and most of the consumers are like, hell yeah, 2 cakes. If you guys have heard my 2 cake philosophy in the past, but either way, I just think that, you know, I have a lot of fun watching her content. I think she's got a really great personality, and so I was happy to support her. I looked at her fashion line, y'all. Talk about young. I'm not wearing a dress that literally barely covers my butt crack, so like, I had to pass on that. But the makeup I can support. Alright, so let's throw a little bronzer on because she doesn't have a bronzer in her collection. So I'm just going to use the Thrive Cosmetics in Ray, and this is a matte, and I'm just going to do a quick little contour here. I really like that blush. This is the first time I've used the blush. I have tried the eyeshadows. I wore the eyeshadows at my photo shoot I was talking about on the first day, and I really, really like them, but like I said, it's not an exhaustive collection. It doesn't necessarily cover the full spectrum for someone like me who needs a really, really light highlight shade, but at the same time, I don't think that she's like, you know, for the price, trying to completely replace your makeup regimen. You know what I mean? It's just supposed to be kind of supplemental and pretty and, you know, have her kind of like take on it. So, all right. A little bit of bronzer, a little too much bronzer on my nose. It's an easy fix. There we go. Okay, so now I want to go in with her pretty gold highlight shade. Let's go ahead and swatch this bad boy. I want you guys to see what it looks like. So before we just apply that, in fact, I'll put it next to the blush here. It's definitely got kind of like a really pretty, what would you say, like a patina shift, you know what I mean? It kind of has a little bit of a green gold to it, which I think is going to be really, really pretty and complimentary. And here is that blush and how that looks. That's just a really, really beautiful kind of like dusty rose shade that I think would look good on a lot of people, especially if I can wear it. I've got such pale skin, especially after putting on a full coverage foundation. The fact that it just blends right in is really, really nice. So I also really like the consistency of the formula. I've never used a ColourPop blush before, and it's just a very creamy, easy to blend kind of formula. So I like those a lot. Also, these pans pop out really easily, so you can put them in a Z palette very, very easily. They make that simple for you. All right, so now that we have swatched that, let's go ahead and just take that same kind of like fluffy diffuser brush, and I'm going to dust that kind of on the high points, see how it looks, maybe take it all over the face, not sure. Let's see here. Oh, how pretty. Oh my goodness. Yeah, their formulas are really, really pretty. I'm very pleased. I didn't know really what to expect, whether it was going to give me kind of a wet highlight look. But like I said, she's not really a makeup guru, you know? She just kind of glows up and uses what she uses, and she likes what she likes kind of thing. She's also vegan, and so she was probably, I don't want to speak for her, but I don't think she would ever collaborate with a company that wasn't cruelty-free. And so that's something, again, that I think is an important thing to mention here. But yeah, for the warm-toned, skin-toned girls out there like myself who, you know, even though I'm pale, I have very golden undertones, this very golden shade of highlight is awesome. I love that. I actually will probably use that on my eyes as well. That is just such a freaking pretty color, this one right here. Oh, and that shade is called Golden Hour. Okie dokie. Now that we have all of that done, I'm going to go ahead and start on my eyeballs, and we're going to have to, like I said, kind of supplement a little bit because, like I said, this guy does not have really a full shade spectrum. Even this lightest shade is a foiled shade, and so it's not really going to be like a brow bone highlight or something like that, but these shades are called Passport, Tan Line, Bonfire, and Malibu. Let me go ahead and swatch these guys for you real quick. So these are the shades. I am just super pumped about this color payoff. Like, are you serious? That is so freaking beautiful. $35 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 products is crazy, especially when the color payoff is like this on the eyeshadows. Like, you gotta be kidding me. That is so freaking beautiful. So, like I said, I did cheat. I have already used these on my eyes for my engagement shoot, and so I do already know that I like them. So we're going to go ahead and kind of show them in action as best we can. But can we just take a moment for this shade right here? Are you serious? That is so beautiful. So these are the kinds of things also that I really associate with her when she kind of glows up, because she just has this really beachy thing about her. You know, she just really likes to make things really, really warm and kind of tropical. And I think that that really is like reflected in these, even though they are just kind of like a nice, you know, neutral palette. It's not neutral, it's warm, but I mean, they're sort of neutral shades, nude shades-ish. And so they are really kind of like day-to-day wearable, even though they are just really like, I feel like they kind of have like a tropical vibe to them. Ugh, that is so pretty. Okay. So I'm going to lay down I'm going in with my Espresso Yourself palette from the Beauty Crop, which is, of course, my ride or die. And I'm just going to go in with some neutral shades, just kind of mix them together, and give myself a little bit of just like a transition situation on my eyeballs so that we can kind of start playing here. I might just skip through this. All right, so now that we have kind of a transition situation going on, let's go ahead and play with the fun stuff, the new stuff. So I am using my favorite Real Techniques brush right here that is just wonderful and fluffy and just does a really good job of diffusing the product. And I'm going to start with this guy right here because it is probably the closest to the transition shade, and so that we don't get ourselves in trouble really quickly and have to back our way out, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like start slow, you know? Holy color payoff. Yes, pigmentation, come through. Okay. So far, I'm very impressed with ColourPop. I think that I could definitely see myself ordering more things from ColourPop because the price is right and the performance is there. I'm going to go in with this kind of rust color right here, which is just absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to go kind of like up here, you know, and sort of like the flat part. And just build this up. I'm gonna say that tone is gonna be the hardest one to wear for most people, and also it doesn't really want to give me that same color payoff, that nice creamy pigmentation that I got from the other one. It kind of wants to skip and be weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the other eye, and then we will use a little bit of the other ones to sort of like compensate and blend in, because this is definitely a patchier color, and that shade is called Passport. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the darkest shade. It's really, I can already tell it's a really creamy brown called Tan Line. Go into the crease there, maybe a little bit underneath the eyes. And honestly, you guys, when you're doing this kind of stuff, as long as you're not like bringing it all the way up to your eyebrow bone, you can always kind of blend your way out of any situation. You know, I kind of have gotten in a habit of sort of, this is funny, but like making a problem that I have to work my way back out of. Just so that I kind of test myself when it comes to doing makeup so I don't get stuck in a rut. If I have the time, you know, if I'm like just being kind of like fun and creative with my eyes, I'll just do something that I wouldn't necessarily expect so that I can, you know, see what results I can get from kind of like pushing myself outside my comfort zone. So halfway through any piece of art, it looks absolutely ridiculous. So just bear that in mind. So I'm going to take that gorgeous gold shade, and I'm going to take my finger, because that's actually the best way to get kind of a foiled shadow to work. I'm going to go all over the lid here. Because this is like crack for my soul. Are you kidding me? Ugh. It's so pretty. Oh my god, that's gorgeous. I'm gonna go under the eye as well. It's so funny, the only thing I have to do today besides film is go to therapy. My therapist always is like, wow. I'm sure she's thinking like, you're really extra, but it's just because, you know, I'm filming, so. So a little bit of fallout there, we can fix that. Not a big deal. But we're going for drama here. I really want to show kind of like what these shadows are capable of. So now that we've done that, I'm going to actually take this highlight shade on my finger, once I wipe it off, and I'm going to use that to bring some highlight back into sort of the inner corner and around the middle of the lash line, so that we can sort of like bring a little bit more of that dimension back in. Okay. So I'm going to take a much lighter shade, and I'm actually going to go into, I don't even know why I just pulled this out, but I'm in my Natural Love palette from Too Faced. I don't know, they just have a lot more light shades in here, and I'm going to go into just a really light white, mix it with just a little bit of a pale yellow, because that's going to neutralize pretty much anything that we need to blend. So I'm going to kind of take that all the way around here. Oh, look at that! Suddenly everything looks normal. And just really blend and diffuse all the lines between all of the shades that we just laid down. When you're doing like fine art, you know, and you're going in with like an oil paint or something like that that stays movable for a while, that's what you do. You lay it all down and then you go blend the lines kind of after the fact. You don't concern yourself with kind of blending as you go, because you'll end up just absolutely driving yourself crazy trying not to disturb one thing that's already done while you're kind of like working in on something else. So I highly suggest kind of like withholding judgment on your own work, coming in with a nice neutral couple of shades, and just working back into it, because you can always kind of bail yourself out. And I'm just, again, working with like the white and the yellow right now. Just giving yourself a big eye. Nothing wrong with that. And actually, I'm going to use just a little bit of this Fairy Tale shade right here, even though it's not my favorite, but just add a little bit more, kind of like a pale gold. Yeah, that's what I need. right here, just so that we have a little bit more highlight right in the center. The center, my kind of false center that I use to like make it look like my eyes are a little bit farther apart. There, now you get that kind of dimension, right, sort of towards the inside. All right, so I'm going to use a little bit of my camera powder here, and it's just white, but it definitely like goes away, and I'm going to kind of re-establish my under eye just a little bit, so that it's not just like Fallout City, I guess. Let that sit there for a minute. I'm going to do my eyebrows, my liner, and my lashes, and I will come right back and we will talk about kind of like lips and finishing touches. All right, and just like that, I have all of my eyeliner and my mascara and my eyebrows on. I also just kind of swept that powder out from under my eyes. I added just a touch more blush and a little bit more of the highlight, all from this same collection, and we're going to go into lips. So I want to go ahead and swatch the lips for you because we kind of need to pick a couple that I'm gonna put on my face here. So this is Love Bite. This is kind of the lighter of the super blotted lip. And like I said, I have never used a ColourPop lip color before, not ColourPop anything before. So that's kind of like a nice rosy color that is sort of happening a lot in this collection. And then this is Party Wave, which is going to be more of like a, it's got a little bit more orange to it, a little tiny bit more of like a, I don't know, like a rust color to it, I guess. So very nuanced differences here, but I think that they're both really, really beautiful. This one's obviously more pink, this one's obviously more orange. And I think just about anybody could make those shades work. And then here is the lip topper. This is called Just Surfed. And it is a really, really intense kind of like beautiful, extra super shiny micro glitter kind of situation there. We also have a very beautiful color in the Lippie Sticks. This shade is called Razor, R-A-Y-E-Z-O-R. And you can see that that guy has a little bit of the same color situation going on as the super blotted lip. I'm not a huge matte lip girl, so I want to kind of step outside my comfort zone here, but it doesn't really require much because these are all very matte with the exception of the lip topper. So I'm going to start with this guy just because I think it's really, really pretty. And just see, ooh, it smells good. It smells kind of vanilla-y. Super, super pigmented. Very easy to apply. Pretty. But not sure it's like what I want to wear all day, you know? I don't know. It's a pretty nice shade. Maybe we throw a little lip liner on there. Some of my fave here that we don't talk about. I am going on a personal journey of trying to talk while I put lip liner on, of trying to find dupes and replacements for all of my not cruelty-free products that I'm really in love with, but it's a gradual process, you know? Okay, so that's drying down really matte, went on really creamy. It's an absolutely beautiful color. I want to lighten it up a little bit somehow, so I want to use the Love Bite Super Blotted and just kind of like stick this on top in the middle. Nope, those are pretty much exactly the same color. The Super Blotted is a tiny bit oranger, just, I mean, ever so slightly, like almost imperceptibly. And honestly, once it dries down, I'm not sure you'd notice the difference. So that's really pretty. Let's go ahead and go in with the lip topper here. They dry down really quickly. They dry down really pretty. It is not giving me that crazy over-dried matte lip thing, which I really appreciate. Now these kinds of things look insane at first, right? Like that's gold. And I'm very anti-metallic lip because I do, again, think that they kind of accentuate sort of the wrinkles and stuff in your lips. But as it spreads out, it's super glossy, super plump looking. And it's one of those things where, you know, you take your finger down here, spread it out a little bit, and it just becomes more of a texture and, you know, just a difference in the way that the light hits it than it is necessarily like metallic. You know what I mean? So I think that that's really, really beautiful. Obviously, my makeup is a little much for my outfit, but we're going with it. I'm just gonna add a touch more blush kind of to the tops of my cheeks here. Kind of do it in my monitor. Is that okay? Can we do that? Yeah. This is super easy to work with, very, very pretty. it's got just enough drama that it's not just like a boilerplate kind of boring, like throw it to the side, you don't need it kind of makeup situation, you know what I mean? Like I feel like when you release a collection, it has to have some purpose for someone to buy it, you know what I mean? Instead of it just being like a pile of what everybody already has. So this has just enough kind of like of a differentiator, I think, that it could be something really unique if you're looking for something kind of to sort of dip a toe into this color family. If this is something you want to start including in your repertoire, this is a really, really good kind of like low risk, $35 for all these products, really low risk way to kind of like step into maybe a new color palette for yourself. So I think this is really beautiful. I'm going to just finish this off with some of this. This is came as a sample in my Birchbox. This is the Organic Makeup Setting Spray by Coola, and it is an SPF 30 makeup setting spray. And I, again, have never used a product by Coola, but this is cruelty free, and hopefully, if I like it, it can replace my Smashbox, because that is not. Wait. Interesting. It smells kind of alcohol-y. Oh god, it's really alcohol-y. Kill me. Shoot me. Okay. That one's off the table. Nope, not doing that again, ever. So, yeah, let me know, guys, if there's a makeup setting spray out there that does not make you want to die, that is cruelty-free, and we can move in that direction, because right now I'm still hung up on using my, dear God, my Smashbox. Like, that did, like, hairspray things to my hair. Like, okay, hard pass on that. Really glad that I tried that the first time on camera. So you guys can see the real reaction. So guys, I do really think that this collection is beautiful, and I think that it's worth it, and I think that it is high performing. These two, absolutely gorgeous. This one is breathtaking. This one I could kind of do without, not just because it's really not a shade that I would wear all the time, but because it just doesn't really perform that well. And I have the 35O palette, and it has about 5 versions of this in it, so this does feel kind of like a condensed version of, now that I think about it, the Morphe 35O palette. But if you don't have the 35O palette and you don't want a gigantic palette from Morphe, this can be a really great kind of, like I said, way to kind of dip your toe into maybe a color scheme that you want to try out without really overcommitting. So all in all, I am of course really proud of my girl Ava. She is just a really great inspiration for me. I think that, you know, her whole persona on the internet is really inspiring. She's a marketing genius. And I like to help people like that succeed. So I hope that you guys like this. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you did. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.